This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Time now is 4:27 here on your Friday morning. We finally made it to the end of the week. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. A number of headlines coming into the newsroom right now. This morning, an apology from Purdue president and former governor Mitch Daniels. Daniels triggered a controversy when he referred to an African-American scholar who was, quote, one of the rarest creatures in America. Those words really riled up the campus. Several minority groups considered the remark insensitive. Daniels has issued a statement of apology, saying in part, "I accept accountability for the poor judgment involved."
We do want to take a turn now. Meteorologist Todd Clausen joining us. Todd, if we could put yesterday's weather on repeat for the next few weeks, I think everyone would be really happy.
You know, yeah, box it up. 50 degrees in December. Anytime that can happen. All right.
Let's go shopping.
375. Anytime you can get that kind of weather in December, you take it, right?
Yes.
Because those days get fewer and fewer as you work your way throughout the course of the month. Now, this morning, the temperatures aren't bad. 40s and even 50s across the area. There are a few showers out there, sprinkles. It looks worse on radar than it really is. It's nothing that's going to really hamper your morning drive, but we are going to deal with the clouds throughout the morning hours. However, once we get to the afternoon hours, we do get the sunshine back in the forecast, so the day will get brighter as it goes on. And as far as temperatures, they're not really going to move much at all here throughout the day today. They're going to hold pretty steady here in the mid-40s.
Great. I like the sound of that.
You can really
Todd.
tell the difference today.
No, you could.
Yesterday I called it spring because I was crazy, but today,
Yeah, I did. Yesterday I had a layer of frost on my car. This morning I did not. Yeah. So I will agree with you this morning that it is much better out.
Let's turn to a bizarre case out of Madison County up in the area of Anderson, Meredith.
Police there say this man, Stephen Davis, confessed to dropping 2 bikes from an overpass because he wanted to kill people. They arrested Davis and charged him with criminal recklessness. The 32-year-old also told investigators that he regretted not causing a 10-car pileup. His next court date is set for January. And we want to say thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity yesterday during the Six Shines on Toy Drive.
The weather was perfect for people to come on down to the circle. You saw Corvettes with the windows down and the tops up. That won't happen today because it's much cooler, but you helped fill boxes of toys for kids in central Indiana during our event on Monument Circle. Our collection continues tomorrow at Lafayette Square Mall from 11 to 6. And for a complete list of locations helping us collect toys for you, you can go to our website, theindychannel.com, and click on the Six Shines on Toy Drive link and help all those kids throughout central Indiana. News, weather, and traffic coming up right now, right here on RTV6 as we kick off Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30, the Indiana BMV making a change after settling a discrimination lawsuit. The steps they're taking to improve the driver's manual.
An Anderson man making a bizarre confession to police why he says he threw bicycles onto I-69.
And there are a lot less live Christmas trees to choose from this holiday season. What owners say caused that tree shortage. That is not what we want to hear. Roughly 19 days away from Christmas. Thanks so much for joining us here on December the 6th. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. And don't tell Lauren Casey about that Christmas tree.
Oh, she already has her tree. She probably has like 6 trees by now.
She just uses all fake Christmas trees, so she's all right.
Way to blow her cover.
Yeah. Maybe she's responsible for the shortage. I don't know.
Todd, with the weather that we had yesterday and that we'll have today, it doesn't seem like Christmas is just a few weeks away.
Just give it a couple days, and it'll start to feel like Christmas once again. It might not look like Christmas, but it'll start to feel like Christmas. With some colder temperatures heading our way this morning. As you walk out the door, we are dealing with cloudy skies, and there's a few sprinkles out. So when you look at this version of Storm Team 6 radar, you have to look really close to find any speckles of green. I'm going to show you a different radar. This one has a little higher sensitivity, and this one shows the sprinkles a little bit better. Now, it also looks a little worse than it actually is. There's more bark than bite to this. So there's a few sprinkles moving through this morning. Otherwise, we're dealing with clouds. It's just part of this system that is bypassing us down to the south. So you don't really have to worry about that. As far as temperatures, we're in good shape here this morning. 50s from Bloomington down into the Martinsville area over towards Terre Haute. A little cooler to the north, 43. 33 in Peru. As we work our way throughout the course of the day, our temperatures this morning will hold pretty steady with clouds, and then eventually this afternoon we do get into some sunshine. You just got to be a little patient with those temperatures falling into the low 40s by 4 p.m.
On this Friday morning, time to check your road conditions. Good morning to Fishers, Bloomington, and Cloverdale. We begin in the downtown Indianapolis area. Our INDOT camera there at I-65 and the South Split. For 4:30 in the morning, it looks pretty busy already this morning as people are heading out, but no problems to report on that stretch of roadway. Now let's go to the city's southeast side. This is I-465 at Arlington Avenue. As you can see, traffic is really built up this morning compared to yesterday. Again, no major construction issues to be aware of, but as you can see, those INDOT signs will guide you if there are problems ahead.
After being accused of discrimination, the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles is making some changes to the Indiana Driver's Manual. The BMV says it is translating the manual into Arabic, Burmese, Chin, and Mandarin. Right now, it is only available in English and Spanish. The change is welcomed by many in our community, including those at the Burmese American Community Institute. Most of the estimated 22,000 native Burmese speakers here in Indy are trying to learn English, but obviously that takes time. One of the teachers in this English class says this change will benefit a lot of people, especially those who may be a little bit older and having a harder time learning English.
It will be really helpful for our parents, and we are so grateful that they're going to translate it in our native language.
A BMV spokesperson says they hope to have the manual translations done by March 1st, 2021.
The time now 4:33, and new this morning, fire investigators in Noblesville are trying to figure out the cause of a massive fire near an auto body shop. You can see the images right there. The fire started around 7:30 last night behind American Eagle Body Shop. That's on Allisonville Road. You can see the fire heavily damaged that building. Right now, firefighters have not said where that fire started.
An Anderson man confessed to police that he dropped 2 bikes from an I-69 overpass in Madison County because he wanted to kill people. Police say Stephen Davis was arrested and charged with criminal recklessness. According to court documents, Davis told police that he hated everyone and was upset that he got evicted from his home. The 32-year-old also told investigators that he regretted not causing a 10-car pileup. Davis is scheduled to appear in court in January.
2 former executives of an Indianapolis trucking company are charged with conspiracy and fraud, and that causing a stock loss of more than $60 million. The former COO and CFO of Celadon face about 10 counts each of conspiracy, wire fraud, securities fraud, and making false statements. They're accused of trading away older trucks to get newer ones and intentionally inflating the prices on the invoices. U.S. Attorney Josh Minkler said they betrayed the trust of their investors by lying about the financial information.
The financial system, our markets in this country, our pensions, our nest eggs are built on that trust.
The 2 men involved were arrested on Thursday morning and then released on bail.
RTV6 is getting answers for people who reached out to us for help, saying they are being forced to live with major sewage and mold problems. Richard Mount has lived at the Diplomat Apartments in Beech Grove for 40 years. He doesn't want to move, but says he's been living with standing sewage in his apartment for 2 weeks. He says the terrible smell of the soaking wet carpet makes it hard to breathe in his own home.
It's like you have to beg them and crawl to get them to do anything. This is not only a nightmare, it's a living nightmare.
Management tells RTV6 they are working with the health department and that repairs will take time because the building has been around since the 1960s. We're waiting to learn what the health department might do to help residents.
The time now is 4:36, and a new safe haven baby box is being installed in Frankfort. It will be located at the Frankfort Fire Department headquarters, and that's located on South Clay Street. Under the Safe Haven law, the baby box allows people to anonymously surrender their newborn without fear of criminal prosecution. This will be the 17th baby box in the state and the 21st in the country. So far this year, 7 babies have been safely surrendered in Indiana using those boxes.
You can now shop for groceries again at a former Marsh store. Aldi is officially open at its new location in the shopping plaza on 82nd Street near Allisonville Road on the northeast side. That building had sat empty since 2017 after Marsh filed for bankruptcy. Like many people in the community, one shopper tells us she's happy that's no longer the case.
I'm really excited about it. I think with all the Marshes going out of business, it's been unfortunate, and there have been vacant buildings for a while, so it's been nice to see, especially this one, come in.
Last year, Aldi opened in the former Marsh at 86th and Westfield in Nora. Several Marsh locations have also been redeveloped into other businesses other than grocery stores.
So this is hard to believe. Christmas trees are in short supply this season. That could put a damper on your holiday cheer, but it also has some really serious consequences. You see, fewer trees make it harder on tree farmers who depend on sales to make a living. Lost 40 Tree Farm in Hancock County has already sold all of its trees. Owner Kathleen Wentz says a severe drought in 2012 killed many of the trees that would be ready to sell this year. And then Samble's Tree Farm in Fortville says it still has some in stock, but you might have to settle for a smaller selection.
We have an 8 to 12 year crop, so it's not like if you lose one year, you can catch right back up again the next year. It's going to take us, 2 or 3 years to really get going again.
I think there's more of a tight supply than a shortage. I think everyone can come out and still get a tree when they go to a farm. It may have to be a little smaller than last year. It might even have to be a different species.
So in response to this situation, Samble's ordered pre-cut trees from out of state to keep up with that demand.
And we want to thank everyone who donated during our toy drive on Monument Circle yesterday. We collected a lot of great gifts for kids this holiday season. If you missed the event, don't worry, there is still time to donate. We'll be holding another event tomorrow from 11 to 6 at Lafayette Square Mall. You can also drop off donations at several sites across central Indiana, including participating Applebee's and U-Store facilities. For a full list of locations and times, go to our website, theindychannel.com, and click on the 6 Shines on Toy Drive link.
That was a great event, and I'll see you tomorrow, Lafayette Square Mall. The impeachment process continues as the House decides to move forward with proceedings. Coming up on Good Morning Indiana, the next steps being taken in the impeachment inquiry.
And 4 people are dead after a police chase involving a UPS truck. Still ahead, how the high-speed chase led to a shootout. Todd.
And a few spotty showers are making their way through parts of central Indiana this morning. Should not be a factor in your morning commute, though. That is the good news. And even less of a factor as we get into the weekend. We'll talk all about not only today, but that Saturday and Sunday forecast for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 4:39. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Gift cards available at mybobs.com.
The time now is 4:42. It is full steam ahead for the House of Representatives as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made it and announced officially that they're moving from the inquiry phase into the impeachment phase of President Donald Trump. Articles of impeachment are expected to be written very soon. ABC's Andrea Fujii has the latest.
After 2 months of investigation, the House will move to impeach President Trump.
If we were not to proceed, it would say to any president, any future president, whoever she or he may be, Democratic or Republican, that our democracy is gone.
The investigation started after it was revealed the president asked Ukraine to investigate his political rival, Joe Biden, as the administration withheld nearly $400 million in military aid to the country. Pelosi had initially resisted the move, but says the president left her no choice but to act. The president says he's not worried.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a hoax.
Republicans argue this was the Democrats' plan all along.
With the Speaker's announcement, she has weakened this nation. It was not new news. They always had this pre-written timeline from the day they got sworn in.
The House Speaker told a reporter the decision isn't personal, it's about the Constitution.
Do you hate the president, Madam Speaker?
I don't hate anybody.
Representative Collins,
we don't hate anybody.
This is about the Constitution of the United States. I don't hate anyone, so don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
Meanwhile, on the campaign trail in Iowa, a heated exchange between the former Vice President Joe Biden and a voter when the man suggested Biden helped his son get a sweetheart deal in Ukraine in exchange for access to then President Obama.
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that. No one has proved that.
Biden insisting after the exchange that he didn't lose his temper.
On Monday, Democrats leading the impeachment investigation will present their evidence before the committee that is now drafting the articles of impeachment. With this timeline, it's possible the president could be impeached by the House before Christmas. A trial in the Senate will then follow. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Thousands more American troops could be deployed to the Middle East in a show of force aimed towards Iran. The move comes after Iran recently transferred short-range missiles into Iraq. The Iranian missiles could pose a threat to U.S. forces and threaten Saudi Arabia. U.S. military officials say they will potentially send 4,000 to 7,000 more troops to the region. Pentagon officials are still discussing what will be needed to deter Iran and for how long.
4 people are dead, including a UPS driver and a bystander after an armed robbery ended in a massive high-speed chase in South Florida. You see right there. The chase began when police in Coral Gables were called to a shooting and a robbery at a jewelry store. Now, police say 2 suspects hijacked a UPS truck and took the driver along for the chase. After chasing the truck for 25 miles, police swarmed the truck and traffic, which led to that shootout. Police say both suspects were killed. 2 other people had minor injuries from a vehicle crash during that incident. None of law enforcement officers were injured.
Health officials are warning of a deadly flesh-eating bacteria tied to a type of heroin. In the last 2 months, 7 people in California have died after injecting themselves with black tar heroin. Officials say they died of a severe infection which affects soft tissue and destroys muscle. 2 other people were admitted to a San Diego hospital with the disease and survived. Authorities are still trying to figure out where the black tar heroin came from.
These numbers are eye-opening. Uber says it had nearly 6,000 reports of sexual assault in 2017 and 2018. In a report released by the ride-sharing company, it also said it received more than 400 reports of rape. But the company says 99.9% of all rides are incident-free. Uber first pledged to release that report nearly a year ago. And since then, Uber says it has stepped up its safety measures, including conducting annual background checks on drivers. The time now is 4:46. With time to check your forecast with Todd Clauston. Good to see that radar moving and nothing on it, Todd.
Well, if you look close, though, Raphael, we do have a few little specks of green on it. Nothing to really worry about, though, here for the morning commute. We have to zoom down to the south, so I kind of fooled you by one standing in front of and being far out. As far as Bloomington down to Bedford into the Shoals and Bloomfield area, we are dealing with a little bit of light rain. Then we'll slide to the north, and you have to look really, really close here to find a few specks of green up in Grant County, over into portions of Delaware County, in the Winchester area, up towards Portland, and that is just about it. So as we switch radars to a different type, you see the bulk of the precipitation is in southern Indiana. It's just a few sprinkles from Indianapolis to the north. This will not hamper your morning drive unless you're heading south across state lines into Kentucky or extreme southern Indiana, where you may deal with a little bit in the way of light rain. You should have a decent morning drive for you, but we all have to deal with the clouds this morning. The temperature sits at 48 degrees. That is not bad at all. We haven't really cooled much at all throughout the overnight hours. Just a wind out of the southwest at 8 miles per hour. And we saw some 50s from Martinsville to Bloomington. Terre Haute's at 50 degrees, 51 in Sullivan, 42 in Greenfield. So as you do work to the north, it is a little bit cooler. But all in all, not a bad morning. So as the day goes on, this is what's going to happen. We're going to keep the clouds around through a good chunk of the morning. So it's not a bright start to our day. But temperatures will be in the mid-40s. As we work our way into the afternoon hours, the clouds should start to break a little bit, so it's still mostly cloudy. You notice the temperatures holding steady in the mid-40s, and then once we get to late afternoon into the early evening hours, that's when skies will completely clear and the sun will make its appearance. But you notice the temperatures, as the skies start to clear, they'll fall back down into the 40s. But it is Friday night. You may have plans out in the town, maybe grabbing dinner with your favorite friends or a loved one. Temperatures will be in the 30s, so you'll need to have the jacket, but the skies will be clear this evening. And then looking ahead to the weekend, Saturday, we deal with sunshine. It's a little bit cooler with temperatures that will be up into the 40s, but 42 is your average high for this time of year. So tomorrow is just a sunny, seasonable day for this time of year in December. And as we work our way into Sunday, we get the temperature up to 52 degrees. The clouds will increase and then showers will develop late in the day. By late, I mean after sunset. And that'll lead to a fairly wet day for us on Monday with areas of rain at 53 degrees. Could end as a few snow showers on Tuesday. At this point, not expecting accumulation. Then as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, much colder with highs in the 20s and lows down into the teens.
Todd, thank you. Here at 10 till 5, lots of people getting their Friday morning started off awfully early. This is a live look at I-65 at the pedestrian overpass north of 30th Street. You can see traffic is moving along just fine.
Costco is known for selling things in bulk. A lot of stuff, right? And now a popular plant-based burger will be one of those things as well. Beyond Meat announced they will offer its burgers in a pack of 8 for the first time compared to its usual 2, which means that Meredith Barrett can now invite us to the barbecue because now there's more food for us, Meredith.
Do you think I know how to work a grill?
You sure do. The product will cost $15, but it won't be at every Costco store. The exact locations have not been announced yet. Brands like Kroger, Nestle, and Kellogg have also started testing sales for their plant-based burgers.
Okay, Ralph, my 2020 resolution, learn how to work a grill. Dollar General is planning a big expansion next year after seeing its best sales growth in 5 years. The company wants to open 1,000 new locations across the country. The moves comes as many retailers are closing their brick and mortar stores. Overall, dollar stores are still very popular despite the strong economy and low employment as they cater to low and middle class customers. Those new stores are all expected to open in 2020. A farmer sculpture is getting a lot of attention from across the globe. After the break, the story behind her hay bale creations.
And I can't wait to see this story. For some kids with autism, communicating can be very difficult. New at 5 a.m. right here on Good Morning Indiana, how a Central Indiana program is helping kids and their families bridge that gap. But first, let's check in with Court TV.
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, a brand new trial out of Lansing, Michigan. It's Michigan versus Stephen Washington. Washington has been accused in the death of a Michigan State University student. There were a group of young women who were in the middle of a fight one night, and apparently the defendant, Stephen Washington, was there, as well as the victim. There was a brawl. A man was shot and killed, and prosecutors say Stephen Washington is the one who did it. We are live in Michigan today on Court TV.
Vinny, thanks. Don't forget you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting courttv.com. We'll be right back. A Virginia farm is getting international attention for the creations they're making out of bales of hay. This year's sculpture is Will Hay Nelson. A bale wrap from around the bales was used for his hair. The arms and nose are made out of chicken wire. Farm owner Beth Bays says she started making the hay bale creations for a contest about 8 years ago, and now she says she continues to make them because the community loves them so much. Bays is even filming a music video with this year's sculpture to show her love for country singer Willie Nelson. In years past, Bays has made Wizard of Oz ones, a drummer bear, a cow, elephant, the Hokey Bird, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Very creative.
I don't know the Hokey Bird.
I think that's for the Virginia Hokies.
For
their mascot.
Okay, for Virginia Tech. Okay. Let me top that, Meredith.
Okay.
Let me top your hail thing with a food-scented twist on the holiday Yule log. Yep, back at Wally World Walmart, it's the KFC Fire Log. It mixes the aroma of those 11 herbs and spices to fill your home with the smell of good old fried chicken. The log was backed by popular demand on Walmart's website for $18.99. The perfect Christmas gift, Meredith Barrick. Last year, the holiday log sold out in just a few hours. I would buy tons of those.
I was just going to say, now I know what I'm getting you for Christmas now. That'd be right up your alley.
Listen, that was my freshman college job, so I am familiar with the chicken. So.
Do you know the secret recipe? recipe?
I can't talk about it.
Okay.
That's right. Secrets are secrets.
Yes.
But let's keep those secrets from the weather department.
No. You know, it's a little bit of a cloudy morning for us. There's a few sprinkles out there, but as the day goes on, it gets better. The clouds will decrease, and we'll end your Friday with some sunshine before sunset. Temperatures holding pretty steady in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, slightly cooler, but plenty of sunshine. Then up into the 50s on Sunday, showers late. The wettest day in our forecast is going to be Monday. Today, you'll want to have the umbrella handy with a high of 53 degrees. The time now, 4:57. Stay with Good Morning Indiana. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.